like that because I don't know about you, but the memory of the Queen really cut deep this year. It was 2 years, but this year, and we needed this lift. We needed this buoyance from this news about Catherine.
Yes, we
Oh,
did.
I just loved the way you got up. Oh, yeah, good on you, Francis. You're expressing how most of us feel. I'll still get myself sorted here. But anyway,
Yes.
I don't need to ask how you are, I can tell.
Yes, yes. I
Yeah.
couldn't have been more excited than I was at that news. I think this is what we all wanted. We've been waiting for this piece of news for a long time. So it came out at the right time. We needed to hear that
Mm.
update, a meaningful one from Catherine, the Princess of Wales. And we are so excited. The mood here in the United Kingdom is very, very lively. It's beautiful. And they do so with such grace. They announce this with such grace. Family all together, that sweet little video. Oh my goodness. Because we expected just maybe an announcement, but then they take things much more than just giving a brief announcement to actually letting us into what the whole family is experiencing at this very moment, of releasing that news. Wonderful news indeed, Catherine. How
Oh,
have you got on with that news? Has it spread across
oh,
Australia?
well, uh, someone, I noticed a new comment on the video I put up of the Queen shaking hands, and I can't listen to that. I can't watch it without not tearing up, but crying. And this lady, she's one of your crowd, and she came in so sweet, and she said, "Oh, I thought I was subscribed to you, but I've looked for you." And she said, "Now I'm subscribed." And she talked about the Queen, and oh, and I was just waking up when I saw this, and I saw your comment as well on another one. I just started crying again. And then I thought, oh, I better check the royal news because you said let's catch up.
Mm,
I went from tears to jubilation.
you did.
Oh, it was just I thought, wow, this is what everyone needs to hear.
Mm,
It's been a difficult year for the royal family, and I know there was a very glowing report put out the other day that oh, the King, small K, not capital K, the King has had a very good couple of years, but there are mixed reports around that because some people are also, commentators in the news are saying that they feel it's been a patchy year for the royal family and they're literally limping along. And the report wasn't that glowing either for the king. So I've mentioned that to say I think this couldn't have come at a better time, and for everyone, for the king, for the Wales especially, but for the royal supporters, constitutional monarchists, royal fans, and casual watchers. Oh,
exactly. Exactly.
oh, oh, the video is
Mm,
is so emotional.
it is. It is indeed. Have you got some tissues there?
I do. I've
Get
been trying
some.
to use. I've
Get
been trying
some
to use.
tissues. Let's get our
I
tissues ready. I've got mine too as well. Get them
I
ready
did.
because
I thought
these
I.
tears of
Wait,
joy. I'm
oh,
telling.
I need them today. I haven't. I've been crying on and off all weekend,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
missing the Queen and
Yeah.
feeling.
Yes.
I'll tell you, feeling downhearted.
Mm,
I mean, I've got my own thoughts on the report of the last 2 years. I've got my own thoughts on that, and I've expressed them here. But Oh, I just needed this shot in the arm from the whales because
Yeah,
I've been crying on and off all weekend, and
yeah,
yes, I've got my tissues.
yeah. It is. It is very timely. This video with the 20 with the second death year anniversary for Queen Elizabeth. Of course, this whole week has been emotional. That's why I took time out yesterday. I didn't post. Is it yesterday or the other day? The 8th. Was it yesterday?
Yes, I
I
noticed.
didn't
Yeah,
post
yeah.
because I just wanted to dedicate that time reflecting upon, Her Majesty, the late Queen Elizabeth, and the incredible work she did for us. Without her here, things have never been the same. So I did post on Instagram a video in memory of the late Queen, and I did one on TikTok as well. But I didn't do on YouTube because I was caught up with emotions. But you
Oh,
you you
it's
posted,
overwhelming.
yeah, it's very, yeah. And then this news of Catherine, Princess of Wales, is like, yes, it's brought in a ray of hope, knowing that, okay, we lost Queen Elizabeth, but another queen in waiting is starting to get better, fit again, and come back and bring that joy that we have missed over these few months since she got diagnosed. So great news. Before we dive into this, why don't we
Yes,
recognize our
yes.
wonderful audience here? They are already up and
Oh,
running.
they're running. Go.
Yes, thank you so much, guys, for showing up. Chantel, Martin, Lily, Abby, thank you so much for showing up. Every single one of you. I'm trying to get the comments right from the top.
Yes,
Sheila and Realme, thank you guys for catching up. All of you
they're
that are
already out of the
now,
gate.
yeah, we treasure
Yeah.
your time. Apologies for the slight delay because this live was meant to be for 9 p.m., but we had a bit of a technical issue here. And I think you will spot that out with the live skipping a little bit. I don't know if our viewers are seeing that glitch. But we had signal issues here in the UK because of some sort of windy weather
Okay.
like
Yeah.
conditions we have. But hey ho, here we are. And the main theme here is, of course, Catherine, Princess of Wales. Special announcement today. She has completed her chemotherapy. Now, this is a first huge achievement. It's a huge stage in this process of Catherine getting better. Okay.
Oh,
Because we've seen so many people who have been wrecked through this chemotherapy, and they've failed to make it, and it's been too heavy on them. But to see Catherine announce that big piece of news and see her running like how she has been running in the fields with her family, very joyous, very happy, to us is a message of great hope, is a message that this is a family that is very normal, very much like us, a family that is very celebrative of life, very grateful of life. And that voiceover, her voice with that message of hope, of her telling us that she can't wait to get back in, but also very thankful for all the support and love, was the icing on the cake. Have you watched that video yet, Catherine?
oh, I've well,
Hmm?
I've watched it a number of times this morning. I I had to keep going, and I've screen captured it. I'll post it on my TikTok and YouTube later today.
Hmm.
I can't help tearing up with joy because, as you said, I didn't want to say it because I don't want to be a prophet of gloom and doom, but a lot of people don't make it. And
Hmm.
we were always hopeful she would because they handled, I believe, and despite, Photogate, that nonsense, despite all that, um, I feel that the Wales have handled it very, very well. I feel they've communicated appropriately. I feel that they've handled the mixed responses to her illness. I feel they've handled that well. William is not one to roll over,
Mm,
and that gives royal watchers, it gives them a shot in the arm. They feel that the future is good under the leadership of a future King William. So,
mm,
I couldn't stop listening. I couldn't. I've watched it 4 times.
mm, mm,
I
mm.
know I'm such a fangirl, but what did you think? I'm curious about compare her to
Oh,
when she was at the Trooping of the Colour and this video today. What are your thoughts around that?
I mean, this is a family, first and foremost, that has been through
Yes.
a lot of challenges. They remember how people were very rude, very aggressive, very unsupportive. The days she released those photographs leading up to her first appearance, and how that really took a toll on the recovery process of dear Catherine. And to see them overcome all of that fracas to being able to show up in the way they did today in that video is amazing. But also, all of the days we have seen our dear Catherine, Princess of Wales, show up in those little moments. The other day at Wimbledon, the first time actually she stepped out on His Majesty the King's birthday, up to until the last time we saw Catherine in that short video presentation of, wishing the GB team a great success at the Olympics. We have seen such a huge transformation. We've seen Catherine growing strong and stronger. Every time she comes and goes back and comes back in another appearance, she's looking even more stronger. So this, to me, honestly, looking at it, was something I expected to see this Catherine blossoming because she has gone through those stages. But to go into this much detail with the presentation of that video is something I did not expect. Okay, so I expected maybe, all right, small video again of her sitting beside husband, Prince William, and talking to us about, her journey. But they went deeper into including the children, and they
Oh,
gave us a bit of a background scenery of running in the fields, getting to that heap of grass fast, and then George climbing up the trees, and the four of them walking, holding hands. This is telling a story of a family that has been very supportive. And I think Catherine wanted to come along with the whole family in this display as a way of saying thank you, not only to us here who will be watching, but also to the family in that video. Okay. And of course, Prince William, the Prince of Wales, that young man has taken a lot. At some point I thought he might actually struggle, he might crumble, because he was not only dealing with ill health of his father, but also his wife. And these are two most important, people in his life. And don't forget, he was also experiencing this in the Sussex side of things, okay, trying to take all the energy out of them, and all of that sort of thing. So to see him in this video very relaxed, happy, giving his wife those pecks, wrapping his arms around his wife, was also so beautiful to watch. Okay. And I think this is going to be trending for a good few weeks, if not month. I've already seen United States CNN, CBBC, whatever, all of these
mm,
main media
mm,
channels are
yeah,
already
yep.
broadcasting this as breaking news. She has once again broken the internet.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
He has. We need to get the tissue. Someone send us more tissue. We need some.
Sorry.
And
It's just the
mm,
most inspiring piece of the visuals are so inspiring. And of course, it's carefully curated and crafted, but it's real. There is nothing fake about that at all. It is real. And to have a husband with his arm around you like that, his arm under you, this is the love story for the ages. It's just exquisite, an exquisite piece of video, and also the intimacy. This, you know what this tells us? This tells
mm,
us that the future of the monarchy is going to look very, very different.
very
And
different. Yeah.
it's because you've got someone like Catherine who has been there and come back. She's looked her own mortality in the eye and she's staring it down. And people, they say the royal family, excuse me, the royal family are struggling to gain support from the younger generation. In my view, she is the secret sauce to winning those that generation that are not enamored with the royal family, because she's stared it down, and she's not from the royal family. She has come in from the outside, took her time. She wasn't parachuted in like Harry's wife. She took her time. William supported her, and now I believe this is what the future looks like. This is the future of the monarchy, and it's very different to anything we've experienced in our lifetime. And I'm 70. I only know the Queen. I
Mm,
only
mm,
know the Queen. I'm still adjusting to King Charles,
mm,
but
mm.
these two, I tell you, and I don't mean it with any sense of, ushering others out, but I can't wait to see what
But the
they're.
future
I
holds.
hope I'm around for it.
Yeah, we will be. We will be. And it's great that you mentioned that this is going to be a very different monarchy, regime of William and Catherine, when their time comes, because the way they've really connected with us,
Yes,
even before them sitting on that throne, is immense. Okay, these insights they are letting us into the real Catherine, Princess of Wales, and William. This is the real future king and queen that we are going to get. Okay, not edited, not the real, no acting, the real pair that we are going to get as monarchs. When their time comes. And when you look at how Prince William, okay, treats and loves his family, okay, and how he has immersed himself there fully, supportive, very respectful of his wife,
yes,
and how he has protected his wife through these challenging times, is really telling of a king when his time comes that is going to work very perfectly with his wife. Because you really get to see someone's real character in moments like these ones here. Okay. So Catherine is so lucky, and William himself is so lucky that these two have each other to support, to push these campaigns of carrying the flag of the royal family and the monarchy forward. Okay. Now there is obviously questions of right, okay, Catherine, Princess of, sorry, what's that? Yeah. So some people had already started, so um, she hasn't done anything now. Okay, so but it doesn't make sense. She's maybe disappearing and she's going to disappear and all of that stuff. Of course, those people have always been there. We have seen them trying to bring down her recovery and her morale down. And these are the same people that we saw run into the comments and in the comment section and leaving all sorts of comments during those days, the difficult days of releasing those first images and all of that. But to us who really understand what somebody who really understand what cancer means and the treatment and how challenging it is, have always been very patient with this lady, very supportive. We don't mind even if she takes a year out, 2 years out, okay, because she has nothing to prove to us. We know she has already achieved. She showed us her true colors. And when Catherine is in, she's in, she works so hard, okay, but she's also very grateful. So this news here of her coming out couldn't have come at a better time than it has. And we hope this is the beginning of wonderful things, because what is going to happen now is, getting the schedule of what she's going to be doing next. She's told us that in that statement that she can't wait to get back. And she says, okay, this is the beginning of her recovery process. But it is still very hopeful for us. Maybe we could get to see her for the Christmas Carol service. Maybe she's going to show up at the balcony at the cenotaph to celebrate the Remembrance Sunday. Okay. And this bit of news, I think, is also paving way for the king to also announce that, hey, listen, this is also looking great on my side. So I think the better days are right here. There are still more to come.
Yes,
Okay.
you're right, Francis. I think that as I read it, and I'm always one to look at character studies as future leaders. I mean, they're current leaders, but he's the heir, and she will be the queen consort. It's like when you look at history and you look at, particularly, I always look to biblical and Shakespearean characters. Leaders have to go through a time of wilderness. They have to go out into the wilderness in order to be proven their character. Their character has to be exposed to themselves in order for them to understand their own frailty, because leadership is quite a challenging but also a magical mantle to carry, and you can be deeply corrupted by that. But when you allow yourself to go into the wilderness, and she's touched on this in her video, that's what captured me, quite really took my breath away when she talked about facing her own mortality. I thought, oh, you're going to be a notable queen. Your reign is going to be noteworthy. And it's because she's had to face her own mortality. And I believe this is the kind of leadership that we really need at this time, because people don't know, the people don't trust politicians anymore. The royal family have gone through difficult times since the loss of the late Queen Elizabeth, but they have, and coming to William, he's carried, as you just pointed out, a heavy, heavy load, but he's proven himself. He's proven himself, and people confidence is growing in their leadership. It's really quite. I don't like using the word magical because it evokes images of toil and trouble, but I don't mean it in that context. I mean it in this beautiful, wistful, enchanting um, land of princes and kings and queens. But it's hard yakka, as Australians call it. Leadership is hard yakka. But they understand when they come before the public, they need to be vulnerable, but they also need the magic and the mystery of monarchy, which the Queen understood. That's why
mm,
we loved her. She
mm,
never took the coat. She never, but oh, look, it's taking my breath away. It really is. I believe they've been taken into the wilderness. They're not out yet, not by a
mm,
long shot, because there, there's still no announcement about the dates in Australia.
mm,
Um, there are some big dinners proceeding, and it's proceeding, by the Australian Monarchy League about, and they're expecting the King and his Queen Consort to be there here in Australia, but there is no news announcements about those dates. And
mm,
the latest I read, which I read here on one of your lives, was the Queen is worried that his health is going to be compromised coming to Australia. So
mm,
there's a
mm,
lot of events that are still proceeding, of course, but whether the King and the Queen will be present is yet to be confirmed. So
mm,
the royal family is not out of this yet,
No,
but
and
it's looking good.
it's looking good as you have highlighted first. I'll come to King Charles. When you talked about Catherine and how she, talked about her mortality and came face to face with it, I listened to that speech. I mean, that
Mm,
video, the voicing, her voicing, and you can always tell from somebody's voice that their message is coming from their heart. And this was Catherine herself delivering a message in this very adorable voice. Now, we can all relate to what she said, and that's the sweetness of Catherine, being able
mm,
to relate with us. That lady, whenever she steps out and does things and talks to people, God, she is so relatable. And I'm
yes.
speaking this from a point of somebody who actually met her. Okay, somebody she came and put that shamrock on during the St. Patrick's Day one time, and the little conversations. How are you? How is your family? What does this day mean to you? Oh, I'm so proud of you all. Very empowering. And she speaks like a mother, like a
Yes.
sister, like a daughter. She's everything. And so that's why many people got very sad at that news the very, very first time we heard that that was what was happening to our dear Catherine. And of course, she goes missing for a few weeks and days. And, this would be the normal thing everybody would do when they get a setback of some sort, because you would take that step back and pack it in, be brave enough and come out at the right time. This is what she has done. And through doing that, she has related more with us. So she talked about how she has this illness has made her understand the importance of life and family. God, she couldn't have said it any better than that.
Mm,
We never appreciate life until we get to those situations. Okay. She has said what everybody always thinks or gets into in that situation. And that is so lovely. But being able to come out and do what she has done really has shown a woman who is having so much grace, very confident of the difficult times and always there to appreciate people, because she's done this because she appreciates the love and support we have showed to her. And this was our little treat, a little gift. That's why when it popped up as breaking news, I had this video trending out. I said, you know what? I will have to share this news. This news surpasses every other thing I have done in recent times.
I saw
Okay.
it. It was so cute. It was just your energy in that video said it all. Your energy was palpable. It was gorgeous.
I did a little dance, and I know some of my
Gorgeous.
our watchers here have asked me to do that little dance. Why can't I do it? I can do a bit of a little dance for my watchers here. Why?
Come on, Francis.
Yeah.
Show us your shimmy.
Why not?
Oh, I know.
There's a
I
lot to
totally agree. There's a
celebrate,
lot to celebrate.
This is a win, not only for the royal family, okay, not only to Catherine, Princess of Wales's family, the Middleton's family, but it is a win for us as well as royalists,
Yes.
because we behind the scenes here have constantly been sending our prayers, praying so hard that our princess comes back. We missed her. We've been missing her.
Oh,
And this is
yes.
a ray of hope to us that she's going to come back on our streets to do the great job that she has always done. Okay. But also, we know how the king has been struggling with, having two senior royals all going through
Oh,
quite delicate times. You know,
yes.
it only gets better when this news comes out, because then we know that this period is soon going to get over and we are going to have these two very important royals back up on their feet, running like they've always
Yes.
done. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, Catherine, wherever you are in Australia, my dear friends who are on this live stream, thank you so much for the support, for the encouragement. Okay. Catherine, Princess of Wales, reads all of this information. She reads what's going on, and of course, the royal family have their people who look at this data out there. They know that this support we have for our dear Catherine is great, and we are endlessly, endlessly praying that she gets back to her feet and come back to our streets. Okay. So, and the other interesting thing, I don't know if you've noticed this, the children, okay?
Oh, yes.
Because
Yes.
we sometimes forget to talk about the children. They have played a very, very important role in Catherine's recovery. When you are going through a patch, the only hope, the immediate hope you usually have are your children and your husband, okay? They went, the kids, had to go to school, and they've probably spent a huge chunk of time missing their mom because they are used to seeing their mom take them to school and all of that stuff. So in this video, and how happy and excited they were was to us, showing us a picture of little young fabulous children who are happy to have their mom back. Okay.
Yeah. Mm. They
Yeah,
were
we've never
adorable.
seen
They
anything
were
like this
so
before.
sweet. Mm.
This is beyond me. Prince
Mm.
William, Catherine, in that display of affection, which is very timely. You can't even fault any of those actions that they have done, because that was the right thing to do, to show us this is a family that is so united. We saw a lot of these people, oh no, Catherine is filing for divorce, or Catherine is done, or she's run away from her husband, or she's beaten, or she's being, all of that. Or look, at Prince William has got a mark here, he's got scratches, probably she's missing because he's done this to her. So this was payback time, and
Yeah, I
we
like
loved
that.
it. Tell me what you
I
think in the
like the way you
comments,
put that.
my dear
Yeah.
friends. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, everyone's having a. They liked your shimmy. They really enjoyed your dance. I've been watching it actually. Oh, yeah, so lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
Theo Page says thank you for your sense of humor and your
Yeah.
dance. So
Yeah.
cute. Oh,
Thank you,
so
Lily.
got a lot of support.
Thank you. Thank
Happy
you.
dance, Chantel.
Yeah.
Lily of the Valley, thank you. I hope you are too. Oh, they're talking between themselves. But
Yes.
the thing is, I always I like William, and uh I'm watching him. I'm not saying I'm all in and in love with him. That's what I'm saying. But I'm watching him and observing one of the things that I find quite extraordinary about William is the way he's recovered from the loss of his mother. And when you put that against the the background of the media curiosity and intrusion into their lives, and the royals protected them growing up. But we see what's happened with one brother. One brother's gone down a certain path. But to see the way William has got a hold of himself, and he's obviously had a lot of support in doing this, but I think that's been an incredible achievement on his part to have managed to have resolved and come to grips with the loss, the very, very public loss, tragic loss of his mother, who was uh, the most famous woman in the
in the
world.
world.
I think that foundation there, he's had to deal with a lot, William. It's easy to say, oh, people lose a parent, they lose eventually both their parents, but they did it so publicly, and that's why the British public are so behind the
Mm,
Wales
mm,
brothers. But
mm,
when you look at that, and now he's had to deal with cancer of his father and his wife, and
mm.
he's doing it with this magnanimity and sense of strength and leadership and poise. He's really quite extraordinary. I don't know where he finds the strength. Where is this coming from? But so many of us would buckle under that kind of continued pressure.
And the other day, it's good you've said that, because somebody else the other day was saying how Prince William is got a huge load on his shoulders. Okay, so he's having to look after his wife during these challenging times, his father, but also stand in for for the monarch on some occasions in making those very, very difficult decisions. And so he's had to be in the right frame of mind at all times to be able to
Mm,
carry out those duties as he would have been with no with without any issues. And we know how that can be difficult. The other day he turned up, and he's one person who has mastered how to take care of his mental health situation. He makes use of those free times. So holidays are holidays. These mean a lot to him and his family. So testament to that was in that video when he showed up with the beard. Okay, so that showed to us that here is a man who said, right, you know what, it is time to chill out, stay with my family, do what we enjoyed doing. So he showed up with the beards as we saw those. So he is very, very important. He has done a great job and is a very, very strong man. And that is what Catherine, Princess of Wales, wanted, someone who was going to be strong by her side to help her recover through these moments. Okay, so you're very right in saying that, with how William has grown out into, and I think part of that resilience, as you have said, has is something that has developed in William since the losing of their mother, because these boys
yes,
were still very young at the time,
yes.
you know. So Catherine here comes into play. Not only is she like a mother to William, but a wife and a best friend, okay, to William. But also Catherine's family itself. We've seen the Middletons feature briefly in the video, Catherine's parents, they are incredibly supportive, very, very supportive. And they must have thrown themselves in the mix as well, especially in those initial stages of Catherine's
Mm,
diagnosis to help with the children and, to Catherine would have spent a good chunk of time at his parents' house, as the daughter would be coming back to so that she can also be given that bit of parental love, because a child will always be a child. So we have a very supportive unit, and we can
Mm,
confidently sit here and say that Catherine's success has been a
mm.
combination of a lot of things. Okay, her family, okay, her upbringing itself comes into play, because she has
Yes,
been very grateful. We know how gratefulness is a big part of
yes,
going
yes,
through challenges like these ones here.
yes.
Okay, so it is no surprise to us that these results we are seeing with Catherine, Princess of Wales, have become this positive. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Someone was asking if Catherine has a channel. So our dear Catherine Arroyo Ayota here, she has a channel indeed. Her channel is Arroyo. We
A
write.
royal iota,
Shall we?
IOTA.
Indeed,
Yeah.
Catherine.
Oh, that's
Okay.
nice. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sweet. But you
Okay.
know, it's interesting because I think that when you look at this fabulous, stunning, gorgeous, where's my thesaurus? I want to, use every word in the thesaurus to describe the wonder of this announcement. What's the alternative if we don't have Catherine? What is the alternative? We already see what the alternative, and it's pretty shabby
Hmm.
from across the pond,
Hmm.
and it hasn't been good. They've had faux royal tours that have just sort of look like they've just been pulled together like a camping site, and it's just been everything they do is shabby. And then you've got this recent book fest with Oprah and Meghan, and
Oh.
it looks ridiculous. It's so, and apparently she never wears pearls, but
Hmm.
she had pearls on, and it was on the anniversary of the late Queen. It's just so shabby. I don't know how she feels she can win any accolades with these kind of stunts because people see through it. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is not to sidetrack our wonderful, joyous conversation here, not at all, but it does bring into sharp relief the alternative.
Hmm.
This is why Catherine and William are taking so much strength and encouragement from public support
Hmm.
because they are buoyed by it. The public are with them, the public are cheering them on. I can hear the theme music from Chariots of Fire,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's that kind of um, wonderful rooting for her success, rooting
Hmm.
for this couple and this family to come through these dark days. Now they're seeing glimmers of light, and it's they haven't said she's in remission. That
Hmm.
hasn't been said, but the alternative would be the can't even contemplate it because we have glimpses of it here already in front of our eyes, and it's not good. Now, I've got a thought about um, this possibility. There's always backups with the royal family. I'd just be curious to what your idea might be if the king can't make it to Australia. I've been reading up on the Duke of Edinburgh Awards, and there's still 22,000 participants in Australia. That is still going strong.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we've got Sophie and
And
her
the
gorgeous, handsome
husband,
Tampa
yeah,
husband. They
Prince
could step
Edward.
in, surely. We
Hmm.
can't have a gap. The king has to send a backup if he can't make it. They
Hmm.
could, and they could strengthen their ties with the Duke of Edinburgh because it's still going strong.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's
Yes,
achieved. It has. The Duke of Edinburgh Awards have achieved
yes.
incredible things for young people. It was introduced in almost every school here in the UK. And young
Yes.
ones who have done that program have gone on to fly high in their university applications and their day-to-day activities, in how they have grown so much in confidence. So it is working. It has achieved incredible things. And it would have been extremely brilliant if King Charles, for any reason, doesn't make it, for Sophie and her adorable husband, Prince Edward, come down then, because then they could carry the flag of the Duke of Edinburgh across, the pond there. But also, Sophie is very, very adorable. She carries herself similarly, just like you see Catherine, Princess of Wales. She is another
Oh,
very
she's lovely.
relatable lady. We know
Yes.
that she doesn't get the publicity that she deserves. Quite often, she has been working so hard in the background, but most of her engagements, for some reason, haven't been sort of publicized that much. And we do understand, because obviously there is, you've got William, Catherine, covering some other engagements at times that obviously are very, very prominent at the time. But she has done incredible things. And Prince Edward himself has been very, very supportive of his brother. Okay. But not only his brother, his sister as well, Princess Anne, is very, very supportive. Now, we know he also had a bit of this hiccup some time back when he wasn't feeling very well and all of that.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's now doing very, very fine. And I think that we might be getting these delays in making these announcements with regards to King Charles coming across, because
Yes.
they are still sort of contemplating whether the king will be able to make that 24 hours, is 24 hours trip to Australia, is,
Yes.
and of course with the help of the doctors, because let's not forget King Charles is still receiving treatment.
That's exactly right.
Mm,
That's
mm,
right. And
mm.
I feel it would be a mistake. I'll tell you the thing. I'm becoming quite anxious about it because I read every day. I look for an update on that, and there is no confirmation. The events are proceeding, but what I'm worried about is we can't have a yawning gap if the king can't attend. People are with the king. His popularity is higher than, it probably would have been, because there's so much empathy for him at the present time. And, and even Camilla, she's at her highest polling she's ever had. But it would be, in my view, a big mistake to not have someone there filling that in. And because of I was surprised so many are still participating in that. I remember when I was at school, it was always in the schools, it was always promoted, and students were involved in it. And I'm a swimmer, and I participated in it. It that's my view. That
Mm.
and I don't know, what's going to happen. I'm sure they've got a backup plan,
Oh, don't
and it would,
worry.
yeah, and it would be a good advance team for him prior to his trip to Samoa for
Mm,
the
mm,
heads of government summit, so
mm.
Commonwealth heads of government. So yes, yes. So,
Well,
but today's news, just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be skipping all day.
okay.
Um, yeah, I am. I'm going to be skipping
You need
on
to do a
Monarchy
little
TV
dance for
tonight.
this. We really.
Yeah, and there are some monarchists in the team, and I'll be, going in saying, "Have you heard the news? You heard the news?" Um, yeah, so because I actually want to attend a couple of events, but it would be disappointing if there wasn't someone there. I don't want to
Yeah.
just turn up to a bunch of, people just sort of, crying in our beer and pretzels because the king hasn't shown. Oh, I'm such a big girl's blouse. It's been
I
crying all
know.
weekend.
I don't know. You know,
Oh,
Catherine, we should take a moment to thank you for the great work you are doing across the pond, by the way.
oh,
My dear friends in the comments, you know, Catherine has relentlessly put out videos recently celebrating the wonderful achievement of the British monarchy, sharing videos of the Queen Elizabeth uh, in those early days of visiting Australia throughout to her most recent visits. She's firing up the mod there in
oh, they're
Australia.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know when the Queen was in? She did a royal tour in 1999. Now, I'm bringing this up because I worked for John Fay when he was the finance minister, and he was very involved in. He was, you know, like the second to Malcolm Turnbull, who was the head of the Republican movement, and the Queen. There was a Queen's visit, and she was so loved. And there was a report in the Financial Review, and it's, you know, they say it's independent, but I sense it leans more to the left. And they reported that during the referendum, when the Queen visited Australia, that it was the love for the Queen that kept the vote strong in favour of the monarchy. They said if it wasn't for the love of the Queen, they're not sure which way it would have gone.
Mm,
I think it would have limped over the line, but that is how much, that is how embedded in the Australian DNA the royal family are. And when she and Prince Philip came in 1954, it was their first royal tour. And I've got books on them here, you know, I see them in, you call them charity shops, you know, I can't resist them. And the photos, the population of Australia back then was 9 million. And in each
mm,
city, in Melbourne and Sydney, 1 million people showed up. That means they came out of the
two in
country.
huge
They
numbers.
totally, and they were coming from country regions. 1 million people, and in Tasmania, in Hobart, I think it was about, because that's a very small island, and I
Mm,
think it was about 450,000
mm,
showed up to wish them farewell in
mm,
Hobart when they left. So
mm,
this goes back a long way with Australia. It's not just a colony, it's more than that. It's a
mm.
very deep relationship that Australians have with the monarchy. And they say, you know, people believe, oh, Australia will grow up, will only be grown up when it becomes a republic. That's a furphy.
Yes.
That is just, you know, nonsense. Australia doesn't need to break ties with the monarchy because it's a very independent state.
Mm,
If they voted in a head of state, who would they have? An ex-prime minister, Malcolm Turnbull? You know,
mhm,
come on. We don't want any ex-prime ministers or even finance ministers like my former boss, John Fay. We don't want any ex-politicians as a head of state. So that's how deep in our DNA the monarchy is. And
mm.
I know that. I just know it because I've studied it. I was part of that referenda, and it's not going to happen under 100 years now. No,
It won't. It won't.
no,
And certainly not when Catherine and Prince William are also near
yes,
there. They will be. Okay, their time, won't be long because Prince William's father, the king, believes in his son. He trusts his son. He loves his son so much, and will be very, very happy and confident when that time comes. For William to take that throne. And I think this is what we are not seeing now, but a lot of those decisions, I would like to think, are being taken by the two of them. And we've seen glimpses of this, in the news. Oh, Prince William is will be deciding where, who is going to be turning up on the balcony and who won't be making that appearance. So we have seen how William has been very tough on drawing those lines and boundaries for his brother. So you can see that the king himself is already trusting Prince William to take those very, very crucial, important
Mm.
steps. So we could wake up to something one day, it could wake up to. So this is the sort of hope that many of these other Commonwealth states have, that, we will soon have William and Kate on the throne, and this is going to bring back all the good days back. Okay. But
Yes,
King
yes,
Charles, King Charles here as well has done an incredible job of holding this very, very important time of the
very,
death of his mother. This space here, the transition is very, very important. That man
yeah,
there. I think we need to really applaud him for actually, performing in the way he has done so far, because he took over at a time when the royal family was facing huge challenges, especially with this break off of the ex royals, Meghan and Harry, and their impact on
oh,
how the monarchy has been moving forward. So yes, thank you so much for really giving way to this man. I think I need to make this big so we can see.
it's a
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful, beautiful
Such
photo.
a beautiful image.
Some
Yeah.
commentators are speculating that, um, to your point about consulting with William, some commentators are speculating that um, that there is a soft regency at play. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts about that? That there's a soft regency underway.
I haven't actually read into it that much, but
Okay.
there could be a possibility. You never know. These
Mm.
days, there are so many surprises that we are
Yeah.
getting. Like this one today. It's a very, very big surprise to us. Nobody saw this
Oh,
video
yes.
expression coming until boom, it popped up. But also because King Charles here, of course, everybody has seen how he has really, really been a strong man through these challenging times. So, if, for example, he wakes up one day and said, "Right, okay, I'm handing over to my son William," and I think everybody will actually applaud him and thank him for that, because he has done his best to hold on in such difficult times, his health, and you come to a point where maybe you don't want huge responsibilities on your shoulder when you're going through a time like his. But again, the king is very, very loving of his son, still being there to look after his family. So Catherine now, the kids are still very young, so I'm sure the king would like to see Prince William enjoy that family time and not want William to take on that huge responsibility now
Yes.
when the
Yes.
kids are still young. So it is
Mm.
a matter of them weighing up those options. But I mean, whatever way it goes, there is no need to rush Prince
That's right.
William
Yeah.
into it yet,
Yeah.
when the king still feels fit to serve his people. And of course, we know he's been waiting for how many years? 73 years he waited to sit
It's the
on the
longest
longest serving
monarch in waiting.
in waiting. Yes. So let the man enjoy his time for now.
Mm.
What we can do is
Mm.
support him,
Mm.
and just support this transition, and wait for Catherine and William to take shape when their rightful time comes. So this speculation will be there. People will say their things, but I think it's going to come down to the royal family sitting down and weighing options and see whether this is the right time for William to come in. But with him still having a very young family, and with Catherine, of course, you see needing extra support because it's not over yet until it is over.
No. No.
So
No.
William
It's
needs to
good.
be where he is. Yeah. Okay.
No,
How
you're
are the
right.
warriors? Princess Anne is there doing a great job as well. We sometimes forget to talk about her. She's also doing amazing. She just recovered from that horse setback of hers. But they have been working as a team. Okay. And recently, up in Balmoral, where they spent the summer break. All of them were there. Princess Anne's husband, Sir Admiral Tim Lawrence, uh, Sophie and Edward, Andrew, all of them were there. Catherine, Princess of Wales, all the children, the Beatrices were all up there. So there is this unity, which is very, very important in driving the monarch forward. Okay, and that is what we need right now. It isn't going to be just one man carrying them across, but it's teamwork.
Yes,
Teamwork here.
yes.
So the king can still doing a great job. He has William working behind him, so we are perfectly fine with that. And the only questions people have had is the way the king has dealt with Prince Harry. But again, we know we know, and we don't want to throw that in now to spoil our party. Okay, but this piece of news of Prince William's and Catherine's success with this recent video, glimpses of hope and positivity like this are the ones going to silence the other side of things and say, listen, stay there in your lane. We are still flying. The people who have supported us and believed in us, you know. So,
Well, Harry, it'll be interesting to see how they respond to this news of Catherine's progress report and the prospect of her returning to public life, however slow, because they say that she is back in the office, the Home Office. So uh, it would be very shabby if they did not respond well and put out a statement wishing her well in her recovery.
oh,
Um,
I don't think we will be
I don't think
seeing
it'll be
that
forthcoming, no,
because
but
if
they
they couldn't
should.
put it out, if they didn't put it out there on the day of the diagnosis,
Mm,
do you expect that to come out now?
no,
I've just I've just
it's a
been reading
bad
about it.
PR move to not do it.
Absolutely. And
Mm,
these would have been the moments they would have held on and said, wow, okay, this is our chance to actually show compassion. Okay, but they have failed to utilize these what would have been big moments for them to come and
mm,
clean their
mm,
acts.
mm.
Now, I've just read, and I know you've seen this story somewhere as well. They've apparently released images, the thumbnails or images of a glimpse into what is going to be happening in the upcoming Netflix series, which is going to be running in December. Okay. Uh, Prince Harry on the horse, the polo horse, and some still images they've released through. Well, I don't know which media it was. I would pull it
Was
up.
it on X?
Yeah, on X, and there is the news media agency that released a few photographs
Oh,
of
I
Prince
see.
Harry on the polo on the horse, and that this is what we are going to see in the upcoming Netflix documentary, and they're going to be doing that documentary in December. But again, they
Oh,
choose to
yeah,
release those images on a day like this one, or at
yeah.
this sort of time. They will always want to take a glimpse, to take
It's a
a
pathetic move. It's so,
yeah,
because
yeah.
as we says here, Netflix, right after Princess Catherine video,
Yes,
they put a video up about the Polo documentary by Archua. It's just so pathetic.
that
It's
is it. Yeah,
really,
yeah, absolutely.
it's vulgar. It's déclassé. It's oh, no
So
one, no one buys this anymore. I actually was not surprised that Meghan would arrange some sort of event on the anniversary of the Queen's passing, but it tells you that how Machiavellian she is.
mm,
She is Machiavellian. by nature. She does what a scorpion does or a
Mm.
snake does. She is true to her nature, and that's really how dark it is. And that she thinks she can compete with the anniversary of the late great Elizabeth. She was a great queen,
Mm.
and for Netflix to try and hijack the Princess of Wales video, it's just inane. It's a really shabby, low
It is.
grade.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because what they would have done is, well, okay, so silence from this side for now. Let this moment be enjoyed
Nice.
as it is.
Yeah.
Yes, people would have understood them better,
Yes. Very
than
nice,
them. Yeah,
Francis.
sometimes, silence and quietness is the best medicine, the best way to go
Mm.
about things. But they put out these photographs to try and steal this limelight and the traffic that the Welleses are getting. It's very sad. But there is a question here from us PRN. So, question for you both. Do you feel King Charles will give titles to Zara and her brother so they can be working royals and to reward them for their loyalty? Mm. What do you think about that, Catherine?
I'm not quite sure. I'm a bit confused about the question. Would you mind reading it out again, Francis?
Okay. So
My
he wants,
apologies.
yeah, so he wants to know whether King Charles, okay, you both feel that King Charles will. So if King Charles will make Zara, will make them working royals, and give them titles. Um, so we know Princess Anne initially never wanted her kids and all of that to have the titles. And I think that's what the king has always stood by. But the other thing as well is the slimmed down monarchy. When initially when King Charles took over, he announced these changes and said the monarchy will be slimmed down to a few working royals. And this resonated with people because of the economic situations and the whole world is in here in the UK. The economy, wasn't that good to have a lot of working royals because these titles and people being made working royals come with a lot of costs, security, all of that sort of thing. So for now, I think I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Mm.
And to be honest, if it wasn't Catherine, and the king himself getting these scares, they were perfectly fine. They were flying through. So they want to be very manageable. And I think this is something they had discussed with the late Queen Elizabeth when she was still here. And Princess Anne herself is very much part of these conversations. So maybe we could see it come up in future when we get, of course, when King Charles decides, okay, it's William, so we shall have another sort of gap becomes available there. So we could see some of these changes happen. But for now, I think the king will not um, issue these new assignments to these young royals. And they are still very young, by the way, because Zara herself is still,
Well, her
they,
family's very young, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, they
Mm.
can't do this supportive work behind the scenes,
Mm.
help out at the palace parties, garden parties, and I think they're also happy to do that because these responsibilities also come with a lot of hard work and commitment. And I think these young royals are not still yet, they are not still there yet.
No, I agree with you. Two things. The king won't be rushed on anything like that. We saw that he took his time with the Duke of Edinburgh title, and it was something that his father wanted his son Prince Edward to. He wanted that mantle to go to Prince Edward, and he faced some criticism taking his time doing it, but in the end, it felt like the right time. These things can't be rushed. I know there has been a bit of online chatter about that prospect with Zara
And
and my.
Beatrice.
Yes, I
Mhm.
like Beatrice. I'm
Beatrice,
not so
she is
sure about Eugenie, but I like Beatrice
Beatrice.
and
She's very
Edo. He's
mature.
he's
Mm,
very supportive
mm,
of her, and I think you've seen her really blossom since she's married him. And I
mm,
think it's because he's really in the camp of the royal family. He supports the royal family. He hasn't got one foot in Team Sussex and one foot over here. He's full in behind the Wales. And we saw
mm.
that with the Christmas concert, and they were very glowing in their hellos and bows and curtsies to the whales during a Christmas concert. So Beatrice is, I would like to see her more of her.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
She's very
because
mature.
she is beautiful.
Mm,
She's just blossomed, and her wardrobe has shifted. Um, she's her wardrobe is because I don't mind quirky. I'm a bit quirky myself. The older I get, the quirkier I'm getting with my wardrobe. Um, but she's elevated her style into a more elegant poise and presence, which I think is appropriate.
mm,
And it does seem to suggest there could be a future there, a future promotion for her and Edo.
mm.
But the Tyndales, I don't know, they seem to be running their own race right now. And I think they would be fantastic
They would be. They've
working
shown some
royally.
love and support, and they've been very close to the Wells's family.
Mm,
And
mm,
we've seen them, Tindo uh, playing with the kids, George, and all of that. So they've been
yes.
very supportive. But I think the king will want to take his time and really make these decisions very carefully. Uh,
Yes,
and also, we know the backlash with the country itself. We have so many people, especially anti-monarchists in
very
the
good point.
country, say
Mm,
making a lot of noise with regards
mm,
to senior royals using public funds, security,
mm,
and all of that stuff.
mm.
So he will be very careful
Good
not
point.
to rush
Mm,
into any of these. But to be fair, everybody is being recognized in one way or the other for their hard work. These
mm,
senior royals all get invitations to go to Sandringham or Balmoral, for these royal family reunions and the parties taking place there. So they are recognized. It's not like they are not being seen what they are
mm.
doing. So the king has his own special way of recognizing them. And you will
And
see.
and
Mm,
William seems to have a great deal of support from Mike Tyndall. He's
yes,
They seem very close, which must be very comforting for him after the disappointing breakdown with
of
his
Harry.
brother.
Yes.
Yeah,
So he's become the other brother, Tom. You see
yes,
them
it appears
giggling
so.
and laughing. Yeah.
Mm.
And when Harry returned for the not platinum, was it platinum jubilee service at St. Paul's Cathedral? Oh, there
Yes,
is this.
yes.
I wish I could pull that video out. And Harry, Meghan Markle emerge out of the cathedral, and Tindo and Zara were stood there. And Mark Tindo just looked that way. He just ignored Harry as
What a
if he
man.
didn't say anything
Oh,
because he knew that what
yeah,
Harry was doing wasn't
fabulous.
nice at all to his brother.
No.
You know, look at that. It's gone down, man down.
Ah.
It's gonna go off, isn't it? It's the
Mm.
time. So this runs out every hour, and that's the sign for us that hey, you've already
Well,
gone
someone
past an
asked
hour.
me, someone wants
But
to know my channel because they can't find it. They looked. It
yeah,
actually is A Royal
yes,
IOTA. It's one word. A
I'm,
Royal
I'm gonna
IOTA,
write
one
it
word.
here.
Yeah.
A
Sure,
royal.
went looking for it, couldn't find it.
Yeah, so I've
Just
just
Yeah.
written that now. I don't know
Oh,
if
you're a darling. Thank you.
yeah, so that's it. Yeah, but you've got some wonderful compliments here from our dear viewers, Catherine. I think
Oh,
we need to recognize them before they go. And so
yeah.
life is like a box
That's
of
lovely.
chocolates. Yeah, he agrees with you. There's no
Chocolates. Did someone
comparison.
mention chocolates?
Yeah, yeah, there's no
Oh,
comparison between the two abroad across the Atlantic and the Catherine and
no.
William here. No, and we didn't even want to give them audience today on this. Like,
No,
this
no,
is the party.
no.
This is Catherine's party. We just need a DJ here. And just like,
Yeah.
so good.
I'm swinging in my
Oh,
chair.
Jedi, thank you so much for those awesome acknowledgements. We are
Oh,
flying high. We are. And
yeah.
of course,
It's
I've
such a
got this
wonderful
wonderful
chat
mug here
today.
for
Yeah.
Prince King
I got
Charles.
my African rooibos tea. And
Yes, yes,
cheers, Francis.
yes,
Cheers, cheers.
cheers.
Chin chin, darling. Chin chin, sweetie,
Yeah.
darlings in the comments.
Thank you so much, our dear viewers. You
Yeah.
light up our world. Without your
Mm,
support, we wouldn't be anywhere. And we've got some wonderful comments here that we couldn't pull up. Of course, these comments keep popping up, and the system is sometimes very slow, but that's really good. And we acknowledge
yeah.
every single one of these beautiful people. And we're very,
Thank
very
you.
lucky and grateful,
Yeah.
Catherine.
It's really wonderful. I mean, it's an intimate audience, but I like that because you tend to the relationships with your audience run deeper and
Mm,
the connections are more lasting when you've got time to chat and acknowledge people
mm,
individually. Pardon
mm.
me, my tea, but oh, it's a wonderful, wonderful party today, Francis.
It
Thank you
is,
so
yeah.
much.
You're very welcome, Catherine. You are. And I put up two posts, I think, already, Catherine's news, and there's another one. So if you haven't seen it, my dear friends, pop over and give them a view. But also our wonderful Catherine here, her channel is blossoming. She's very, very consistent with videos, especially of King Charles on the lead up to that big announcement of whether he is going to be visiting Australia or not. We really hope he
Mm,
visits. It
mm,
would be
mm.
nice to see the king and queen across the pond. Somebody we rarely talk about as well is Camilla. She has been very supportive of her
Yes,
band. Yeah, the other
she's an
day
amazing woman, really.
she's amazing, and she's one of
Yeah,
those
hat
as
tip.
well that has fought through these challenges and made us believe that resilience works. you know so it would be great to see them. I enjoy their leadership, because really the highlight of every monarch is that trip across the Atlantic, especially to Australia. It's a
Oh,
huge nation, huge.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. And make no mistake about it. Um, interest in the royal family, because I watch the magazine stands as well. It might be a little flat at the moment, but it doesn't take much for it to beep up and a bit of life. It doesn't. This will be all over the news today. Catherine's news. It'll be everywhere, and
Mhm.
it'll be on the magazine covers. Everyone will be running to cover this story, and the royal family will be. It's a big game in town now.
Oh, it is trending royal story. It's going to be trending everywhere. And like
Mm.
our wonderful fans in the comments here, they are spot on, very spot on. I told you last time, Catherine, we are having a huge knowledge gap. Comment you look at, it's like, God, this is insightful, very insightful. The Lissas, the Tigans, the Abbeys, the Kellys,
Mm.
the
They're
Sam,
very wise, wise
all of
owls.
them,
Yeah.
all of these comments, Chantel, very, very adorable. insightful
Yeah.
and thoughtful comments. Look at that
Yeah.
from Lisa.
Well informed. Quite a
Look
few
at
of them
that from Lisa. Okay,
seem
so
to be
that's past.
historians here.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Look
Very,
at that.
very well
Yeah, yeah.
informed.
But look at those comments. Very, very insightful.
Mm.
And this is telling a story of a community that is so invested in the royal family, and they have the support, okay, for the royal family through thick and thin. I admire you all. I really do. And Tegan, of course, reminds us to hit that like and subscribe
I
button
know.
so we don't
This is
miss.
fabulous.
Right, tell
Team
us
Francis all the
how
way.
many subscribers now, Catherine, you've got now. Are we nearly there?
Oh,
900 now, isn't it?
it's 890, and
Eight.
you know what it's
Yes,
like with the peaks and troughs. But I'm quite aggressive at the moment.
it's
Um,
getting there. It
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Because we,
Um,
we are going to start doing live streams on your channel as well.
Oh, I've got a
Mm.
plan for it. I've got a plan. I'll share
Yes.
it with you before I announce it. I won't announce it just yet for our first live, and you're going
Yes.
to be my guest. So
Yay!
that's all I'm going to say. You're going to be my guest, and
Let's do a bit
good
of
interview.
Linda.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to do a hard-hitting 60 minutes interview with you.
Yeah. And you know what, Catherine? We can always invite some of our guests here, if in
Oh,
the
I
comments.
agree.
If one of you, our dear friends, is up for it, you just send us an email,
Yes.
Francis Page, 62. My email is up on the description somewhere on my profile. I think it's one of the last statements on my description. Send me an email and I will send you a link, an invitation to come and join us. This party, this channel is for all of us, or for us to share thoughts.
I have a cunning plan, Tegan.
Yes,
I
yeah.
have a cunning plan.
So it would be nice when it
You
did.
can be sure if Francis is involved, it will be a mischievous, super mischievous, cunning
Indeed.
plan.
So should we leave it
Yes,
here
we'll say
now?
good night and good
Any
morning.
last
And
words, Catherine, you
yes,
have for us and our friends?
no, just thank you so much. You're a very charming host, and thank you everyone in the comments, and for those of you seeking out my channel, I really appreciate it. But I love these chats. I learn so much from you all. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're
You're
welcome. And
such a
I,
charming host.
I would
Who
like to
can
say the
resist
same
Francis?
back. We are a great team here and we shall always be. So
Yeah.
let us go and
Okie
celebrate
dokie.
Catherine's video again and continue praying for Catherine so that recovery
Yes.
continues on the same path so we can get to see her over the Christmas carol service. And because she lights up everybody's Christmas every time they're together at Christmas carols feature Catherine, okay, and her wonderful gestures to the young children. Oh, they enjoy seeing Catherine over Christmas time, but also on Remembrance Sunday, because that would be a great gift to all of those that have lost their loved ones, including
Yes.
Catherine herself, to be
Yes.
there to celebrate that with the nation.
Yes.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay,
Right.
well. Okay, Francis, we'll say
Okay.
cheerio. Bye bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye bye,
Cheers, sweetie
everybody, and see,
darlings.
see you on the
Okay.
next live very soon. I think Wednesday or Thursday. We will have a chat,
We'll
Catherine.
look forward to it.
Yes, indeed.
Thank
Okay,
you.
then, my lovelies. Bye bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Bye. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do I